add all those thoughts into one, in a way, exposition to those who are listening now on YouTube? Can you please?
Well, shalom, everyone. I was asking Eti just about the archetypes, the idea behind the teaching that she brought some days ago, that when we are in the limit, we feel alive.
Yes.
I think that this is the frame.
Yes. Specifically, our limitations, in a way, switch something inside, and we are, in a way, motivated, yes, to go forward. Shalom, Cindy. Good morning. Yes, this is what happened. The end is alive. Okay, this is in the name of Isaac. Yes, Yitzchak Ketz Chai. The end is alive. Specifically, when we feel that this is the end, it's the beginning of unknown world or unknown life to us. Yes, this is how it goes. Because we once were mentioning the name of Bethlehem. Yes, Bethlehem is, the value of Bethlehem is 490. This is 7 times 7. And there's a reach to Bethlehem, and then the world is ending. The world of the known, the world of the 7. And then there's a movement to the new world. Yes, to the world of 8, to the world of the 8th day. And we made a diagram also in the new book that, let's say we're moving now to the whiteboard to broadcast, and I will also share it here. There is a movement in our lives from the life as we know them to a new world within ourselves. Yes, this is the movement to the 8th day. Let's draw it here. Yes, because the old world does not work anymore. It does not work for us. Yes? Let's put it like this. This is the old world. This is 7. The Bethlehem is here. Bethlehem. Let's make it thinner because I'm now on. Yes. Bethlehem is the 7th day. Bethlehem. Yes? And this is the 7th day. Bethlehem is 490, which is what? 7. Yes? Yes. So the world which is known to us is ending. It is blocked. And then deliberately at this point a new world is being introduced. This is the 8th day. The 8th day. So, like Pixies call it, like positive stress. Everything is blocked, everything is known, but it just stuck. Wherever you go, you just run into walls. Yes? And with this point, we're moving forward. Yes. Did I answer your question, Fernando?
Yes, indeed, you answered beautifully, and many hints came to me, like like a system, just as you said, this idea just like a system. It makes me think about lots of examples. So I thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. The 8th day, Andre also prepared a diagram in the book. The 8th day is the unknown. It is basically all those three uppers are considered to be like, let's say, easy at the eighth state. This is infinite, which is unknown to us. Yes? When we feel that we are choked and we just bounce into walls, nothing happens, when everything is just crashing inside, then comes the new world. Yes? It is there. We just need to make one step, or it just comes to us what to do. It might be encompassed with all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of feelings, yes? It's not easy, but it's there. It is there. It is there. We just, from the known perspective, this world does not exist. Yes? Because we don't know how it will come to be, what is there beyond the unknown. Because what gives us a lot of comfort is the fact that we, so to speak, know where we are, where we go. It gives a lot of comfort. But suddenly there's a shaking because what is familiar or known is just closing and dying and ending. And where is the next moment? Where is the next day supposed to come? Where is the new life, the frame of life supposed to come? But it's there. It's already in the can. I hope that this is helpful, Fernando.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Eti. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It is always coming from the space of hope. There's something positive. It's like a thread that it's in the senses, a feeling that there comes something good, and just attract to the good. When everything is closed, just there is some kind of like a blinking from the good or a thread of good, and just follow the good thread. Yes, it will lead. It will lead. Definitely. Of course, there will be objection. Yes, the familiar surrounding will object any change because it shakes their lives. If someone moves, yes, so it shakes their sense of reality. Yes, if somebody moves, there will be rejection because it changed the order and everything what is known to the, so to speak, family or the community is just moving, and they don't feel comfortable with the movement. But if people want to go for the future, it's good to keep the plans inside. The more we keep it secret, the better. In order that something will happen, it has to be kept inside. Otherwise, the fact that people know details about something, it just opens it. So good morning, everyone. We were answering Fernando's questions, and now you can ask any question that you like. Pixidis, Abigail, Sandra, good morning. Ogbai, Cindy, please feel free to ask any question that you have on your mind. Yes. Yes. That's correct. That's correct. So if there aren't any questions, I thought to speak today about the month of Av. Av. This is the 5th month from spring, Av. And it is interesting because on Shabbat we were mentioning Luria, and in 5 days it will be his memorial days, Hey Be'av. This is Av. Av is the 5th month. Is the 5th from spring. from Nisan, from Passover, from the Exodus. Since it's the 5th month, Luria looks at it like the letter He, because He equals 5. Now, in the 9th of Av, the temple had been destroyed. This is in Hebrew Tish'a B'Av. Tish'a B'Av, the 9th of Av. Luria looks at this date, the destruction of the temple, not as a historical date, but in a very distinct way. Let's draw the way he looks at the destruction of the temple. Within us, what is it? The letter He, yes, is composed of the letter Dalet and Yod. Do you remember this? Dalet, which is 4, yes, and Yod, yes, when the Yod is 10. Now, Luria says that the fact that the temple was destroyed because the Yod is not there. Now, if there is no Yod, what we have is only Daled, or the 4, without the 1, because the Yod, we can take it as 10, the Yod, we can take as 1, 10 or 1. So what is the destruction of the temple? The 4 without the 1. Do we understand that before we continue? Av means father, yes. But yes. Now, Luria says that what is the destruction when there's no Yod? Yes, Yod, the Yod of Yesod, the Yod of Yesod, the Yod of Yesod. Now let's draw the whole tree. And if you have questions, please write. At the moment there's a whiteboard, but I soon will pop and see the chat. So again here, yes, this is Yesod, the 6, or the Vav. This is Yesod. Yesod, let's write it here. Yesod, foundation. Yesod is Yod, the unity. The 10 is secret. Sod is secret. The 10 is secret. The unity. Now we have here the He, which is also the heavenly kingdom of the 7th day. So the Yesod from here, the Yod here, the potential, is nourishing here the foot of the He. And then Yesod and Malchut are being united. And there is a relation, a positive relation between Yesod and Malchut. So to speak, the light that comes from all the spheres to the heavenly kingdom. But when there is no connection, when the Yod does not meet the heavenly kingdom, there's only Daled. When the heart is not engaged, there is no temple. There's only falling 4, or falling on 4. This is basically the destruction of the temple. The Yod is the temple. Yes, the Yod is the temple. The Yod represents the Sfirat Tiferet, or the heart. Yes. When the heart is not engaged, the whole building can fall. And we don't speak about the temple as a building. It's about the life of man. If people run only on brain, let's say, and inject heroin, cocaine, they're not present. The heart is not present. They're drinking alcohol. There comes a thought, alcohol, they go to the cabinet, open, take a glass, pour something, drink. The heart is not engaged. This is the destruction of the temple. This is the source for addiction. Yes, to abuse people, animals, bad relations. When the heart is not present, when we are not present, when the machine, the brain is running, but the heart is not there. Yes, Sandra? Good morning. How do you do?
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
Good, good. I'm so glad that you spoke of this, the alcohol, because they call alcohol, spirits. Literally, what you're doing is ingesting the spirit of a fermented, dead fruit or what have you, whatever it is. And I've noticed that people on alcohol, even from the very first drink, you can see the change in that person, that they're not themselves anymore. It's scary, really.
Hmm. It's ancient. It's ancient. Yes. Yes. It's sad, but this is what happens. Yes, when the heart is not
Mhm.
engaged. Yes, the temple is not somewhere on Antarctica, yes, or somewhere, I don't know, exotic space. The temple is a person's or human's heart. And when the heart is not there, just walls. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, booze, yes, yes. People already bored, they drink at 10 o'clock. They start the first drink at 10, 9 o'clock in the morning. This is what happens. They're absent. Yes, they're not present. And they're naked and they're not shamed. You know, we always learn this verse about Adam and his wife, and they were naked and they were not shamed. They were naked, yes, but they were not shamed. Yes. What is naked? Not present. Not present. A person can be dressed with a tuxedo, with a suit, yes, but when he is not present, he is naked because he's running after his mechanical brain, so he's not present. Children or young, how do you say, teens, they try smoking, they try all kinds of things, yes. They try to run away. Yes, the brain is working quite fast and they want to run away. They look for escape. It's uncomfortable to be present, or they feel uncomfortable in being present.
This made me think of another thing too, is how you're saying, to be in silence, to keep what you're doing secret. When people drink alcohol, they become very talkative and say
Mm.
way too much. Yes.
This mechanical speech. It comes from the mechanics. It doesn't come from the heart. It's like a machine. Yes, this is why we say soul secret is in the heart. And the yod is the heart. Yes, it's something important. You don't just leash it on a drink or two. Yeah. So sobriety. is being present. So the temple is not a term that has to do with history, archaeology. Yes, the moment we're not present, there's nothing. Yes, there's just no potential. The heart is not engaged, and there's only the four. Questions? So 9 in Av, Tisha B'Av. Yes, this is a beginning of people are fasting. Yes, they started the evening of the 9th and they are fasting the 10th. Yes, fasting is just to say that we are in a way diminishing our, let's say, engagement with the manifested, and by reducing it, there is in a way the building of the temple. Now this is interesting because what we learn here, yes, can only be, I would not say could only happen because people here participate, they feel something in their heart as reality, the reality of the heart, not the reality of the eyes, so to speak. Otherwise, we could not meet here. We could not read the Zohar together. Yes? Because to open one verse from the Zohar or to open deeply one verse from the Bible as Luria does, and we saw this on Shabbat. Yes, that the conversation, so to speak, between Abraham and the angel is something not like communication in a room between host and guest, but something really high. Movement between the spheres. Yes, and those things, those conversations are not mechanical. It's not a download of gossip. Because what gossip does is just what the eyes see, externals, the mouth speaks. Yes? So this is why not many people are participating in those conversations. They're not mechanical. To relate to what Abraham said, Yukachna me'at maim, that it will be taken, yes, a little water to serve the guests or to the messengers, and to read it as a relationship between the light, day one, Abraham, the wheat, so to speak, and the second day, the water, yes, the days, to borrow time to the process of, so to speak, making the wheat into bread. This is cannot be shared by everyone. So the foundation of the tree of life, we say English foundation. In Hebrew we say yesod. 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 When Yod is the secret. The Yod is the secret. Because the heart holds the secret. What is the secret? The unity. The unity. the oneness is kept in the heart. Questions or thoughts that you would like to share, please feel free. Just few words about Luria. He lived in the 16th century. He was born in Jerusalem, and when he was 5, his father was killed by an accident, a chariot, of horses ran into his father, and his father died. He was 5 years old. He was left with a mother. Since the mother had no husband or provider, she moved from Jerusalem to Egypt, where her brother was working as a tax position in Egypt. So she moved with Isaac, yes, to Egypt, to her brother's house. They lived there in his house. She had no husband or support or any other family. And then Isaac grew there on the bank of the Nile. He was most of the time educated by wise people in Egypt. He was reading the Zohar, but he was isolating himself deliberately from the company of people, chatting and so. And when he was 14, they married him. Was the acceptable way in those times. They married him to his cousin, the daughter of the uncle. And he was progressing in his thoughts, abstract thoughts about the Zohar. He could solve very tough or contradictory verses of the Zohar. In those times, we are speaking about 15 and something. There was not yet print. Everything was just by handwriting, and to achieve or to have an access to a handwriting of the Zohar, a lot of money needed in the pocket to acquire such a handwriting. His uncle probably could afford, yes, because the invention of print somehow, because during the time lowered the price of a book, but to acquire a handbook written with the Zohar, it was not cheap. Somehow, yes, it was possible for the uncle, and also this is what make Isaac open to see the books, the notebooks of the Zohar, the handwritten notebooks, and to contemplate, think about them. The time moved on, and in 1517, the Turks, now I move into a detail in history, yes? The Turks and their Ottoman Empire appeared and in the field, in the area, and suddenly it was easy to move from Egypt to Israel again. Everything was one territory. And Luria leaves Egypt with his wife, and they moved to the city of Tzfat. City of Tzfat is located in the higher Galilee. Yes. There is a little community, awakened Hebrew community, interesting people, because we are speaking at 15, let's say 17 or so. It's few years after the deportation from Spain, after the discovery of America. It was 1492. and the Reconquista, reoccupying Spain from the Muslims. There was a lot of movement in the area, and people are moving to the land of Israel from all Europe and North Africa. So in the city of Tzfat, in the Upper Galilee, many interesting people are gathering. People who are reading Hebrew and other languages. And the field of study, all of them are reading the Zohar. And to this surrounding, Luria arrives. In the beginning, they don't accept him because there's already a community, assembly of people that are familiar somehow, and they have their, let's say, tradition or the way they handle things. They look at him, what this kid is doing here. He was quite young. What does he mean? Suspiciously, because all of them are really far in the study. But slowly they accept this, so to speak, young dude or child into the community. And the more they open to his studies, the more they wonder about how they look into things, how they see things. In a way, the way he sees things breaks all the existing paradigms of his times. Yes, something like this does not exist. Does not exist or did not exist. Yes, we are speaking of the times that Renaissance more or less is popping. Yes, slowly in Europe. But this kind of thinking does not exist anywhere. He asked the students not to write his words because it is impossible to put those ideas into sentences. He asked his student Chaim Vital, Rabbi Chaim Vital, not to write anything. Yes, until the last days of his student, because his student lived longer. He died really young, 37, 38. And only his student, Rabbi Chaim Vital, next to his departure, start writing, and people smuggled, yes, the handwritings, the notebooks, they smuggled them into Europe, to Italy, where there was already printing, and suddenly the words are getting echoes because they are printed in the books and are disseminating all over Europe with the invention of the print, but also with the spirit of the Renaissance. This is part of the Renaissance. Yes? To think in an unconventional ways with no limitations, to connect between numbers, letters, objects. There is no borders in his thinking. Nothing is a border. Yes, nothing is a field for itself, because usually what science does, there is this field and this field, and they are not speaking to each other. Not in Luria's world of view. What will be known later as Kabbalah Luriani, yes, or Luriani Kabbalah. There is no borders at all. Everything can be discussed. So his donation, until our times, yes, 500 years later, people still are wondering in his writing. It's not his writing, but his student, Rabbi Chaim Vital. What is there? What is written there? It's something that happens once in 500 years, 1,000 years, something like Weinberg. It doesn't happen that often. Questions? Let's see if on YouTube there are questions. No, people would like to be silent. So, Rabbi Chaim Vital asked his Rabbi Chaim Vital had a son, and somehow when he was close to his last day, somehow those notebooks are being smuggled to Italy, and this was in a way the gain of humanity. So to steal or to smuggle is not that bad. Yes, we are lucky enough that they were smuggled and printed, because now there's like illumination. Yes, but sooner than we think, people will read those notebooks or book, and they will take it to a completely different direction. Yes. Luria wrote only few things. He wrote few poems and in Aramaic. Yes? He always says that when he starts to write, something comes, another thought and another stream of consciousness, and he cannot put it on writing. So what has left is like few poems that he wrote in Aramaic. Yes, and all the rest is Chaim Vital. Yes. Who wanted to speak? Fernando? Yes, Fernando.
E.T., just
Yes.
to point to two ideas that came while I was listening, among many others ideas. But one is that about the month of Av, because at the beginning of the conversation we were talking about that in the end, life is in the end, you know, the end is alive.
Yes.
And I can remember that about the destruction of the temple that is remembered in 9 of Av.
Yes.
If I can remember,
Yes.
also in this day, if I can remember, I'm not sure. I didn't Google it, but I think that the Romans killed the students from Havia Kiva, no, or
Yes.
not?
Yes.
Yes. And also in 9 of Av, I think also the Holocaust started. Maybe I don't know, but I know that a bunch of things happens in this day. But also, I can remember that some sages speaks that in the 9 of Av is the day that we are expecting the Messiah, let's say. Well, I'm not looking here at... I started with some historical events, but what I am saying is that the salvation is in the end, you know, this dark, I'm putting in commas,
Yes.
this darkness brings also the purest light.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes, the lower spot, yes.
Yes. and and this is a system, just like you said. Because I can remember also Luria speaking about the red cow, the red heifer,
Yes.
and this idea of the the final letters of the alphabet, and that in the final we can find the new beginning.
Excellent. 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 Yes, when things are coming to an end, it's basically a beginning. Yes. Because one world, as it has been manifested, the manifestation in a way comes to an end, and a new life will emerge, and a new life is coming. So there's no need to take it hard, though it seems dark because it's in a way unknown. Yes, it is what is known is blocked. Yes, and this is what they say about Israel crossing the Red Sea. It's the same thing, they were caught. And one at the back, the Egyptians, yes, are coming and try to catch them in the back. In the front, there's water, and they are caught between the Egyptians, which is the old world, yes, and the water, yes. How do we cross the water when the Egyptians are in the back? Seemingly, there's a situation, there's no way out. And then comes the opening of the sea. This is the infinite. Suddenly comes a path, a way to go through. And it's there, it's just there.
E.T.,
Yes,
the second thing is that uh, you said that Luria just wrote some poems, and his student Haim Vital wrote the books with what he remembers. That is quite good to read, because usually he speaks well. From what I can remember from my master, this and that.
yes,
So he puts like, it is not all that I am writing here, just what I can remember. And I can remember also that Haim Vital had problems with memory, because and Isaac Luria said that he was too angry, so this is why he forget things. I don't know if you could say something about this, because it's an interesting topic.
yes, yes. Anger. This is something that I read yesterday at a book by Pascal, and it has to do with anger as well. And you will see the connection. He says, when we are seeing a limping man in the street, like limping, we are not mad and we are not angry, because when we look at him, that he is limping, we know inside how a healthy man walks. So in a way, the mind or the brain takes this person as limping, but we are not mad, because we know that there's a way to walk straight. But yes, when our brain is limping, we are angry. Yes, and this is in a way what Luria told him. The anger, or the moment of anger, is like a moment of someone drinks alcohol. It's the same thing. The brain responds in the same way. There's like, how do you say, Coach Luz? There is like I don't know how to say in English, but I know the German. There's like suddenly there is no light, comes something else like a separator, and there's no light, and he cannot remember. I don't know how to say this in English when the light is not moving. In German we say Kurzschluss. It's just short. It doesn't. The stream of light does not continue. Yes. So, in a way, yes. So in a way, when someone is angry, yes, it's considered. The sages say it's considered to be an idolatry, because people, when there's anger, there's a sense of puffness and the sense of I know this is why I'm angry. Put all kinds of facts together, and I know better. Yes, and the moment someone knows better or there's anger, there's another entity. Yes, not Yesod and not a secret. This is why I cannot remember. There's in a way a separator between him and the truth, and he cannot doesn't have access. Yes, because at the same moment, the one who is angry is like worship a foreign god, his own anger, and not the source. So there's a block, and someone at the moment cannot remember it, like blackout. Yes, does not remember, doesn't come to him. Blackout. Yes, they say he and I cannot be in the same space. The infinite and anger cannot dwell in the same space. If there's anger, it's like foreign element. Yes, if the anger is dwelling at the moment, infinite is not there, because infinite is nothing, and anger is something. Is a sense of when someone is angry. Yes, there is sense of foreign body. Yes, the anger is like a body. Yes. And when someone's angry, there is the body of anger in a way present. And infinite cannot be there, because it's on one seat, there's only one can sit. So anger sits and infinite is not there. So the Shekhinah, the Holy Spirit, is ascending. And no one can remember. There's a blackout. Because darkness dwells, the sense of knowing. Because anger comes from the sense of knowing. Yes? Anger is the son of knowing. Yes. Questions? Fernando, Sandra, Ogbai, Pixidis, Yanis, Abigail. Questions? Yes. 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 Anger has to be with identification, yes, of the self. They are connected. Anger and self are connected. It's the expression of the self, which is of course false, because there is no self. Yes, anger comes with self. Yes. 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 The sense of knowing. Yes. It has to do all of those things connected. Self, knowing, and anger are connected. So it is interesting, because this week, within 5 days, will be his Memorial Day of Luria. And if we the letters of the months in Hebrew are Av, yes, that he moved to the infinite. So he moved in Hay, 5 of Av. Yes, the letters are Av, Aleph and Bet. And if we put between the Hay, it means Ahav, he loved. Or if we put another Hay, here it Ahava, love. So he passed away in the Hay of the months of Ahav. Ahav, it means he loved. Or we can write the Hay even here, so we have Ahava. So this was a little conversation to open the months of Av, the 5th month from spring, because 5 is also the 4 fingers with the potential. Yes, the 4 fingers with the potential. This is the full hand perspective. This is the month of Av. And I thought, Yanis, about Saturday conversation, that suddenly this teaching of Luria popped. And usually in Shabbat, they declare in the synagogue of the coming new months. So usually when the month starts, like today, there's already declaration of it in the Shabbat before. Yes, yes, that's true, Fernando. And I thought that the Shabbat session was in a way announcement of the coming of Av without even knowing it. It just happened. This is how life are writing the scripts, you know, through what is coming. So thank you so much for being with us today. Wishing you a very good month, good life. And if you want to have private conversations, you're most welcome. Toda and Shalom. Rosh Chodesh Tov, everyone. Happy to see you here and see you soon.